This video is titled, When Did Kakashi Reach Kage Level? Now, Kakashi is one of my favorite anime characters overall, just because of his demeanor. Y'all know how his character, y'all know like the way he behaves and what he does and what he's achieved, and especially how cool he was during his childhood. But what's interesting is, how strong did he get and at what point? Let's get it.
Kakashi became the 6th Hokage of the Leaf Village towards the end.
By the way, shout out Daigo Knight. He's making a lot of Naruto videos lately again. And you know, just he's helping me rediscover Naruto on a different level. And I really appreciate that. So make sure to check out his channel, Daigo Knight. I'm already subscribed. Make sure y'all do it too. Let's get it.
End of the Naruto series. So naturally by that point, Kakashi had reached Kage Level. But when exactly did he do so during the series? What was the moment when Kakashi reached Kage Level? I've done a video like this for Naruto and Sasuke, and I'll be using the same metric to determine what Kage Level is. Because Kages vary in strength so much, going from Chojuro to Hashirama, I'm going to say that Kage Level is the level of strength a ninja requires to become Kage and not feel weird. He has to be strong enough to be a
All right, so I think the moment Naruto became Kage Level is once he fought Pain. That's definitely Kage Level. I mean, is there any battle before Pain that makes him a Kage? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think there's no fight before Pain that makes him Kage Level, because Pain was definitely a monster. So. You can't deny him at that
people
point.
In his village, and stronger than most people in the Naruto universe. And when I'm talking about Kage Level in this specific video, I'm only looking at the character's strength. Obviously, you have to have more things to become a Hokage, in Kakashi's case. Leadership, diplomacy,
political... Shit, we're talking about Kakashi. Fuck. Damn, I saw a picture of Naruto and I thought, oh, where's the... Okay, never mind. Kakashi, at what point did he become Kage Level? Honestly, I don't even know. I think Kakashi fell off really hard after leaving the Anbu. Honestly, that fight with Zabuza was ass. Was he really stuck in that bubble? Like, let's be honest. Was he really stuck in that bubble and actually struggling like that against Zabuza? You know? So that makes me kind of iffy about Kakashi ever being Kage Level, honestly. They just chose him out of emergency. There was nobody better than him, in my opinion.
Savviness, but what we're most interested here is strength, pure and simple. So let's begin by analyzing Kid Kakashi when he was 13 years old during the Kakashi Gaiden arc. Kakashi had just become a Jonin at that point when he was 13, and by the way, Obito was also 13 at that point. They are the same age, and I made a video explaining why that is so. And naturally, Kakashi is already very powerful at that stage, being considered a prodigy of the Leaf Village with unparalleled talent pretty much. He developed the Chidori, his signature lightning style move, but unfortunately for Kakashi at that stage, his Chidori is not perfected yet because his speed increases so much when he uses the jutsu that it leaves him exposed to counterattacks. That's exactly what happens when he attacks that stone ninja with the Chidori for the first time. He manages to counterattack Kakashi and cut him, and Minato pretty much saves Kakashi with his amazing speed. If it wasn't for Minato, Kakashi would have probably taken a much more severe wound. And that stone village guy is just a regular stone Jonin. I mean, he's still a Jonin, but it's not as if the guy is special. Like, Minato one-shot the guy very easily. If that guy was somebody important and pretty damn powerful from the stone, Minato would have probably remarked something just like he did when he faced A before A became the right Kage as well as Killer B. But no, Minato just killed him. It was that is it. So you can see that Kakashi is kind of struggling to fight again.
I want a version of Naruto where they actually show them slicing their heads off and stuff. Like, I want to see that kind of violence in Naruto. I want an adult R-rated Naruto
Against a Jonin level opponent. And the same thing applies when Kakashi and Obito go to rescue Rin.
Like,
yeah,
Kakashi slicing their faces in and stuff. I want to see that.
Yes, they managed to almost beat those two Jonins to rescue Rin, but then one of them uses that jutsu to collapse the cave, which, well, crushes Obito and everything. So I can't say that.
By the way, you're a fucking ninja. How do you not dodge a rock? Is there something I'm forgetting? Was he like, not like, I don't know. Is there something I'm forgetting? Was he stunned? Naruto would never get stuck under a fucking rock.
Kakashi at 13 years old at that stage was Kage
And he's
level.
supposed to
However,
resemble-
Kakashi gains a buff by the end of the
Isn't he like supposed to resemble Naruto, but just like turned evil?
arc with Obito's Sharingan, which perfects Kakashi's Chidori. And with that Chidori, he quickly kills the remaining stone ninja, and also faces several other stone ninjas at the same time. We don't see the fight because that happens off screen, we just know that Minato eventually saves Kakashi. But even though Kakashi was pretty damn powerful at that stage, with the 2 Tomoe Sharingan, I cannot say he was Kage level yet. After that, we don't see a whole lot of feats for Kid Kakashi slash teenager Kakashi anymore. The best we see in the manga is that Kakashi is managing to run away from the Mist Village Anbu when he's rescuing Rin, but then again, they didn't want to recapture Rin or Kakashi because they wanted Rin to go ballistic in the Leaf Village. And we don't really see much of the fight, we just know that there are several water explosions that Obito sees from far away that are pretty damn huge, but Kakashi managed to counter those, which is pretty impressive. Then again, doesn't really qualify him for Kage level, I would say. And the same thing applies to Anbu Kakashi. Yes, he's an extremely powerful Jonin, but he doesn't yet reach Kage level. We don't see much of what he does in the manga, but there are some fillers about Anbu Kakashi, and nothing that he does in those fillers says, oh my god, he should be a Kage at this point. No, not really. Because that's the thing, it's Kakashi's character. He was a prodigy that got stunted because of the trauma he suffered. Seeing Obito die as they become friends, and then killing Rin essentially, even though he didn't want to do it, it was just too much for Kakashi to bear, and it essentially halted Kakashi's progress for a long time. We see in those filler episodes of Anbu Kakashi that he washes his hands 6-7 times, and then he sees Rin's blood on his hands because his Raikiri killed Rin and everything, and it's—
Yeah, PTSD just destroyed Kakashi, which is really unfortunate because I want to see a version of Kakashi that just does not care, or is at least able to process the situation the way Itachi did, you know, because Itachi literally has done far worse, has a lot more blood on his hands than Kakashi, but Itachi is still a beast and he still progressed after committing that crime. So I wonder why Kakashi wasn't able to mentally manage that trauma the way Itachi did.
traumatic, and Kakashi cries every
If anyone can explain that for me in the comments, please let me know.
time he washes his hands now. It's terrible. Kakashi is in a really dark place, and we know that emotions really dictate how powerful you are in the Naruto series. Protecting people you love can bolster your power, while being depressed and traumatized like that can definitely diminish it. So Kakashi, this person that used to be the greatest prodigy of his generation, that should have become much more powerful than he eventually is in the beginning of Naruto Part 1, just doesn't develop all that much for about 15 years until he meets Team 7 and begins to train them. Kakashi was a very severe sensei with every single team he tested. He failed every single one of them up until Team 7 managed to show him that no, some people still carry Obito's will. And so Kakashi begins to teach Team 7 after the bell test and everything, and they start to take Kakashi out of that terrible, depressed, traumatized state. But it's not simple and it takes time. Kakashi is still a Jonin level shinobi in the beginning of Naruto Part 1. Yes, it's very impressive what he does against Zabuza, but in the
Very impressive. I mean, I guess if you haven't watched Shippuden yet, then I guess it is impressive. You know, watching Kakashi fight for the first time, you would think he's like so strong and crazy. But in hindsight, like watching Kakashi getting fucked over by a fucking water bubble is crazy.
first fight against Zabuza, Kakashi is literally caught by a water prison. If it wasn't by his team of Genins, he would have lost the fight to Zabuza. And yes, he kinda stomps Zabuza afterwards with a massive water vortex that engulfs the entire forest, and he managed to match a water-style jutsu that he copies from a water-style specialist against him, with a water dragon and everything. So obviously Kakashi is really strong, but the circumstances of that fight indicate that Kakashi was not that beyond Zabuza in terms of strength, Zabuza being another powerful Jonin from the Mist Village and our rogue ninja. Kakashi also collapses after using his base Sharingan for a little while against Zabuza there. He has to stay a week in bed, recovering from it. So even though that water vortex was a massive jutsu that engulfed the entire forest that he used against Zabuza, I can't say Kakashi was Kage level at that point. Also,
Hell
from
no,
a
there's
meta
no
perspective, Kakashi is the Jonin character.
He spammed the one fucking jutsu and then collapsed. He's not Kage level. This fight literally demonstrates how Kakashi fell off. I'm sorry. I'm a great Kakashi fan, you know, and there's maybe some details I'm forgetting, but this shit is so disappointing in hindsight.
Know the most about in the beginning of the series. He was a benchmark for the audience so that we can understand what an elite Jonin looks like when fighting, because he literally fights against another elite Jonin in the very first fight of the very first major arc of the series. So even from an out-of-universe perspective, it makes complete sense that Kakashi was not Kage level yet. Now in the second fight that Kakashi has against Zabuza, something very interesting happens, because the fight's evenly matched. Zabuza is lurking around using his mist to hide from Kakashi until something happens. Kakashi captures Zabuza with his dogs, and he was going to kill him with his Raikiri, indicating that, yeah, if that was a 1v1, Kakashi would have won this time. Zabuza was completely pinned by the ninja dogs, and the Raikiri was going to finish him off. However, Haku saves Zabuza by tanking the Raikiri and destroying Kakashi's scroll, so the dogs were unsummoned. And that obviously sets something in Kakashi's brain. It is the exact same circumstance he was put on by Rin a long time ago. Haku jumped in front of his Chidori.
Ooh, what a cold ass, bro. The manga is amazing. I wish the anime looked as good as the manga.
By Rin a long time ago. Haku jumped.
I mean, look at this, bro. Whoa. Look at this, man. The only people who are still like this is like fucking Gaza. They're the only ones who look cold in the eyes. Everybody else nowadays is fucking pussy. I can't think of real people like this. I can't think of anyone that's real in real life that behaves like this. That's tough, man. That's cold.
In front of his Chidori, and he killed somebody without meaning to. Now yes, the circumstances were different. Rin sacrificed herself because she didn't want to destroy the Leaf Village, and Haku sacrificed himself because he wanted to save Zabuza, but the sentiment is pretty similar. But interestingly enough, instead of falling into a depression or PTSD or whatever, Kakashi became stronger because of it. He was pissed at Zabuza because now he finally understood, or he began to understand again, how it felt to have companions, his team, people he treasured. He was without friends, without people he loved for so long, and now he finally had those 3 kids. And Haku was the same thing for Zabuza, and Zabuza treating Haku like a tool, like a disposable garbage person that, oh, I'm just using you for my ends, made Kakashi pissed. Even though that's the nature of being a shinobi, you can say that Team 7 began to change Kakashi's mindset at that point. And when Zabuza tries to face Kakashi after Haku's sacrifice, Kakashi absolutely demolishes Zabuza. He's backhand punching Zabuza casually, he's pinning his arms with kunais, immobilizing them. Kakashi easily beats Zabuza at that point. So you can clearly see there was a mental amp after Kakashi kills Haku because of—
That's tough. So this is the reawakening of Kakashi at this point, which is pretty cool. But I wish it happened earlier, honestly. But that's a cool story to have. Damn, I never thought about it like that way. Like that. I never thought about it like that.
everything he's been through. Now, is that mental amp enough to make Kakashi Kage level?
No.
I would say no. We can see that Kakashi is finally breaking away from the trauma, and now he can actually grow like he was supposed to, being a great prodigy of the Leaf Village, but just this mental amp alone is not going to do it for him. And we can clearly see that being the case in the Chunin exams arc. When Kakashi is sealing Sasuke's curse mark, Orochimaru shows up to provoke him a little bit and entice Kakashi, because that's what Orochimaru loves to do. Kakashi ignites a Raikiri, threatening Orochimaru, and you can clearly see—
What did he say? He said something. Kakashi did say something. He's like, one of us, like, step closer and one of us will fucking fuck. Something, he said something.
See, Kakashi is very spooked. And then Kakashi becomes so terrified by Orochimaru's sheer
But he was
presence.
willing to throw hands. He was willing to throw hands though. He was willing to throw hands. Damn, he was willing to throw hands. I know Kakashi might have lost. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? But Kakashi was definitely willing to throw hands. But afterwards, he was like, shoo, fuck. Oh, I'm glad this nigga didn't have to fight me.
that he sees himself dying, beheaded. Orochimaru's aura does that to Kakashi. It essentially paralyzes Kakashi with fear, and when Orochimaru leaves, Kakashi thinks, am I stupid? What was I going to do here? Because Kakashi told Orochimaru, oh, I don't care if you are one of the legendary 3, I can take you with me, but he realizes after Orochimaru left that no, he couldn't. He would have just died there. And this clearly indicates that there's a massive discrepancy between Orochimaru's power and Kakashi's power at that point in the story. Orochimaru is obviously Kage level at that point. After all, he's going to kill Raza, the 4th Kazekage, and Hiruzen, the 3rd Hokage, just a few chapters later. And we know this on in our Kage level because Tsunade becomes the 5th Hokage in the next arc. And obviously, Orochimaru is relative to Tsunade, if not much stronger, especially when he still has his arms. But because of what Kakashi sees, it indicates this massive gap in strength that Kakashi just couldn't reach.
That begs the question, did I ever see Orochimaru fight Jiraiya? I don't think I ever seen Jiraiya fight Orochimaru. Maybe as kids, but not as adults. That would have been a very interesting fight to see if it ever happened. I probably forgot though.
At that point, meaning that he is still a Jonin level shinobi. Probably the strongest or second strongest Jonin in the Leaf Village alongside Guy. And I mean, technically Jiraiya is a Jonin, so he would be stronger than Kakashi at this point, but definitely not Kage level yet, which is corroborated by the next fight Kakashi has, which is a brief scuffle with Kabuto in the hospital when Kabuto tries to kill Sasuke. They have this quick exchange when Kabuto manages to fool Kakashi and flee the hospital. Kakashi even thinks to himself that if he wants to get Kabuto the next time, he needs to get stronger and train harder, that he let himself become sloppy. Kakashi and Kabuto are also compared in terms of strength twice by Jiraiya and Orochimaru alike, meaning those two characters in Naruto Part 1 would be pretty evenly matched. And Kabuto is certainly not Kage level. Yes, he's pretty strong, a powerful medic, he has that powerful genjutsu that put everybody in the arena to sleep. He managed to fight and beat Tsunade, the future 5th Hokage, but that was a Tsunade with a heavy mental nerve because of all the trauma she suffered. And once she overcomes that trauma because of Naruto saving her, she just stomps Orochimaru. But now after the Chunin exams, when Kakashi is overcoming his trauma, and
I need to see these fights again, man. I need to I can't wait to watch these fucking fights. Oh,
realizing he needs to train harder, he can finally leave that state he was when he didn't really progress much. We see him beginning to train harder when he climbs that mountain with one arm behind him.
And then at the top of the mountain, you see Sasuke waiting on his ass.
He's back, and he isn't able to do so. He has to use the first gate to help him out, which is a start, and obviously Kakashi is going to train more. But Kakashi is not Kage level in all of Naruto Part 1. This becomes very obvious when Hiruzen dies, and the elders of the Leaf Village come to Jiraiya offering him the Hokage post, and Jiraiya refuses, saying that, oh, I have somebody else in mind. Tsunade, a shinobi that had been outside the village for, what, over a decade? Was very unreliable, being addicted to bets and also an alcoholic. And the elders preferred her over Kakashi. Kakashi, who was literally in the village at that point, so they were like, no, I don't think Kakashi can do it right now. We need to find the other Sanin that we know is on that tier of strength. So we have to move to Naruto Shippuden because Kakashi does not reach Kage level in Naruto Part 1. Kakashi definitely is more powerful in the Kazekage Rescue arc, but is he Kage level there in the beginning of Shippuden? When it comes to his regular taijutsu, ninjutsu, and genjutsu capabilities, he doesn't seem to have changed too much. Yes, Kakashi defeats an Itachi body double with Naruto's help. Then again, there was a 30% clone that didn't have access to his Mangekyo Sharingan and wasn't really trying to win because Itachi's a double agent that works for the Leaf Village. And we don't see Kakashi having a 1v1 fight against anyone in the arc, but we see him using Kamui for the first time, which is obviously going to be his most powerful jutsu in Naruto Shippuden. He managed to snipe Deidara's arm off when Deidara was flying above them, and he also managed to use Kamui fast enough to save himself, his team, and Guy's team from that Deidara explosion. And obviously I don't have to tell you why Kamui is so powerful. You don't have to weave hand signs, and it can essentially bypass any sort of defense. In the war arc, we see that it can literally Kamui away truth-seeking orbs, which is the most powerful type of ninjutsu, a Kekemora. But in the Kazekage Rescue arc, Kakashi only has 2 charges of Kamui, really. And he's not perfect with them either. He has to aim at Deidara for a long time, and he couldn't even aim properly because he took an arm instead of taking Deidara's head. Also, if Deidara wasn't just flying on a straight line, it would have been much more difficult for Kakashi to keep eye contact and therefore use Kamui at all on him, but it's obviously a powerful jutsu that can also be used defensively, and it saved Kakashi and everybody else there. The issue is that Kakashi only really has 2 charges and then he's going to collapse and stay 2 weeks in the hospital. That's not great. So even
Wouldn't that make him fucking immortal? Honestly, like if he could, let's say there's a universe, right, where Kakashi manages to use the Kamui at least 3 times and is able to aim perfectly every time. Wouldn't he be like unstoppable? That's crazy. That's a crazy ability, honestly. That's an insane ability.
Even though he got this new jutsu that's extremely powerful and very versatile, it has a lot of drawbacks and limitations, and Kakashi is not perfect with the jutsu yet, so I can't really say he's Kage level here. Yes, obviously Deidara, the character they were fighting against, is Kage level because it literally beats Gaara, a Kage, kind of easily, without much clay, in Gaara's favorite terrain, but the Deidara Kakashi and Naruto were facing there didn't have an arm, was pretty much out of chakra, was pretty much out of clay, had just sealed a tail beast for 3 days and was probably pretty exhausted, and they didn't even manage to kill or capture Deidara. Deidara escaped. Yeah. So no, I don't think I can qualify this Kakashi as Kage level yet. He's at the cusp of being Kage level.
Maybe he was Kage level once he got the fucking other eye from Obito, honestly. Because I don't think Kakashi was, I don't know, man.
I would say, but not yet. The next big fight Kakashi has is against Kakuzu and Hidan, and he does well in that fight. He's fighting against Hidan as well as Kakuzu and his hearts at the same time. He's holding his own, but eventually Kakuzu managed to pin Kakashi down, and he was going to extract Kakashi's hearts if Shikamaru's plan hadn't worked in the nick of time, and Hidan stabbed himself to destroy one of Kakuzu's hearts. He was also pinned by Kakuzu again just before Yamato and Naruto arrived to save him. And he didn't use his Mangekyo Sharingan, but that was going to be his last resort in that fight. Also, Kakashi doesn't really show anything new, per se, in that fight. Yeah, he gets Kakuzu from behind using Araikiri in a very sneaky way, which is impressive, but he doesn't use a new jutsu or anything like that, anything that would put him above the tier he was before in the Kazekage rescue arc. Also, Kakashi spent a pretty long time in bed during the Tenchi Bridge arc, which leads to this arc, meaning that he didn't really have time to train or anything. So yeah, he would be pretty much at the same level of strength he was in the Kazekage rescue arc, if not a bit lower, because he was in bed and a little bit nerfed because of Kamui and everything. Being in the hospital is not exactly good for your power as a shinobi. But the next fight is interesting because it is Kakashi versus Pain. And from the get-go, we see...
Oh yeah, and then he saved his life. He saved himself by Kamuing the fucking nail that was about to get pinned in his fucking skull. Oh man, but he's still not Kage level.
Some pretty interesting things. Kakashi stops the Rinnegan Rod with his bare hands from reaching Iruka and then breaks it with sheer strength. He charges at Tendo Pain, pinning him down with an earth wall and igniting a Raikiri. Pain manages to dodge that because he pierces a Rinnegan Rod that disturbs Kakashi's chakra, and then he uses a Shinra Tensei, which blows Kakashi away, but he tanks that fine. Now there's something kind of interesting that happens next. Kakashi uses one of his moves that he learns, I suppose, between the Akatsuki suppression arc in the fight against Kakuzu and the Pain arc here, which is the lightning style shadow clone. Kakashi stays hidden underneath the rubble and his shadow clone goes and fights against Pain. Also, we see something interesting from Pain's side here. Kakashi is fighting against obviously the strongest path of Pain, the Deva path, and Nagato feels the need to call an additional path, the second strongest, the Asura path. Individually speaking, those are obviously the two most powerful paths when it comes to combat.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Now, yeah, you can say that the animal path has like, what, 2050 summons, so technically he should be more powerful than the Asura path. But when it comes just to the paths themselves, to the dead bodies that Nagato controls, the Asura path is the second strongest, and the Deva path is obviously the strongest. So Nagato felt the need to bring his two most powerful paths to fight against Kakashi with just one exchange. And Pain calls in the Asura path after Kakashi uses another jutsu he probably learned in between the Akatsuki suppression and Pain arcs, the Lightning Hound, which Kakashi ignites a Raikiri that leaps forward in the shape of a massive hound made of lightning that jumps at the target, but Pain managed to essentially block it with a Shinra Tensei and it didn't do any damage. However, he realizes, oh, okay, he has a powerful long-range ninjutsu too, so that could be bad if he finds out about the 5-second cooldown. So already we can see two new jutsus that Kakashi has access to. The Lightning Shadow Clone and the Lightning Hound, which are pretty powerful. He finds out
Look at that
about
cover.
the 5-second cooldown. So already...
What a cool ass cover. Bro, oh Oh my god, why did they have to destroy Naruto's legacy with Boruto, man? Look at this. Look at this. That is so tough.
We can see two new jutsus that Kakashi has access to, the Lightning Shadow Clone and the Lightning Hound, which are pretty powerful, especially the Lightning Shadow Clone. I made a whole video talking about it, and it does spend a lot of chakra, but it is very good. When Choji, Choza, and a few others arrive to help Kakashi out, he mentions that because he used his Lightning Shadow Clone, he is below 50% of his chakra.
Bro, Kakashi's chakra is so booty. His chakra tank is ridiculous, man. It's terrible. He uses one jutsu and then it's like, oh, I'm at 50%. Oh. I wish he had more chakra.
Which has always been a problem for Kakashi. His chakra reserves are not that big, but he comes up with a plan to take down Tendo Pain. After all, the Asura Path was taken down by Choji and Choza when they arrived, and the Asura Path got shocked by Kakashi's Lightning Shadow Clone, so he couldn't move away from their punch. Well, they thought they took it down, and they pretty much did, but not quite. So Kakashi comes up with a clever strategy to bait Tendo Pain into using his Shinra Tensei. First against Kakashi, who comes out of the ground, then against Choji and Choza, who use the meat tank, almost hitting Pain, but not fast enough. However, then they pin Pain down with chains that Kakashi put underground, and Kakashi charges a Raikiri at him to hit Tendo Pain with it before the cooldown reset. And that was going to kill Tendo Pain, the strongest path of Pain. If not for the Asura Path tanking the Raikiri, standing in front of Tendo and allowing Tendo's cooldown to reset so he could use Shinra Tensei again. So technically, Kakashi beat Tendo Pain. If it was just Tendo, he would have won the fight. Now, yes, you can say that Choji and Choza helped Kakashi out, but Kakashi told Choza that he had a plan if he would have to fight against Tendo alone and didn't have any reinforcements. He only mentions that this plan will allow Kakashi to save some chakra so he wouldn't have to use additional jutsus to full Pain. Choji and Choza would be able to be the distractions and pull the chains and everything using their chakra so Kakashi could just finish Pain off. So I have to assume that Kakashi's plan quality—
I wonder why Kakashi couldn't just Kamui his ass. Can someone help me understand why he couldn't just Kamui his ass?
it would be pretty much the same. It's just that he would have to use more chakra, and if he could do that, he would have defeated Tendo Pain if the Asura Path was not involved. After all, Kakashi had figured out how the Deva Path's abilities worked, and he was confident he could do it if not for the Asura Path's inconvenient intervention.
And now imagine the other five were there. I mean, come on now. Kakashi is... I don't think... The fact that Naruto could have defeated all five of them shits is what makes me believe that Naruto became a Kage level before Kakashi did.
Kakashi then gets stuck in the rubble because of Shinra Tensei and uses 2 charges of Kamui, one to save himself and the other one to save Choji, which completely depletes his chakra and he dies. So once Kakashi Kage level here in the fight against Pain.
Oh shit, yeah, Kakashi did die. And then his soul got but did he actually die? Or was he just like passed out? I don't think he died. I hope not. Damn.
Maybe, but I don't think so. Not yet, at least. Obviously, the Lightning Shadow Clone and the Lightning Hound make Kakashi more powerful, and Kakashi, as always, is a brilliant ninja that can come up with great strategies mid-battle. That has always been the case. Kakashi has always been very smart, and his intelligence is only going to progress as time goes on. And yeah, intelligence also counts when it comes to a shinobi's strength, obviously, and perhaps this fight against Pain was Kakashi's best strategy we had ever seen him coming up with up until that point. But are the Lightning Hound and the Lightning Shadow Clone enough to make Kakashi Kage level? Well, it's not just that. We see that Kakashi's chakra levels are improving as well, even though he dies using 2 Kamuis in that fight, which was the same amount of Kamuis he used in the Kazekage Rescue arc. He had also spent a lot more chakra than he did in the Kazekage Rescue arc before using Kamui. Kakashi used 3 Raikiris, an Earth Wall, a Lightning Hound, and a Lightning Shadow Clone, and then he used 2 Kamuis. Back in Naruto Part 1, Kakashi...
Okay, after summing up all the things he's done, I'll say he's Kage level. I mean, he's definitely better than that water mist Kage, whatever his name is, the blue guy with the sword, with the goofy ass violin sword or whatever.
She could only use 4 Raikiris in a day and then he would be spent, just like Sasuke could only use 2 Chidoris in a day before he ran out of chakra. So you can clearly see that Kakashi's chakra pool has dramatically increased at this point. But no, this is not
Kage level. It's not Kage level, right? Is that what he's gonna say?
when Kakashi turns Kage level.
Yeah, yeah. But could Kakashi beat Gaara? I think so. I think Kakashi could beat Gaara at this point. Maybe.
Almost there, but something else needs to happen. Because you see, after Kakashi dies, when he saves Choji using the second charge of Kamui, something interesting happens. Kakashi meets his dad in Limbo. His dad was the first person to cause Kakashi massive trauma. He abandoned Kakashi when Kakashi was really young, making Kakashi a very stern person that really cared about rules. Obito would improve Kakashi from that. However, Obito then dies, and then Ren dies, so the trauma just piles up. And yes, that trauma was being healed by Team 7. However, Kakashi took a severe blow when Sasuke left the village. Sasuke was his most prized pupil, the one he taught the Chidori to, and Kakashi felt that he was useless and he couldn't do anything about it. So this wouldn't help much. However, Naruto coming back, and then Kakashi realizing Naruto was going to surpass the 4th Hokage after Naruto learned the Rasen Shuriken and everything, was obviously helping Kakashi get out of that trauma and make him a more powerful ninja by getting rid of.
I won't say that I would be able to handle all this trauma and shit, but I gotta say, dude, compared to Itachi, bro, this dude is, I mean, it's normal, you know. He lost many friends, you know. His father, you know, took himself, you know. It's all kinds of shit that happened in his life. But for a ninja, bro, in the Naruto verse, Kakashi is I gotta say it, but that makes him human. The other guys are just monsters. But is Itachi a monster though? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he? I don't know. That's tough to figure out right now.
This mental nerf, but something that truly helps Kakashi overcoming this trauma, which is not going to be totally overcome because the war arcs is still going to happen and Kakashi is going to find Obito's alive and everything. So these things are going to resurface, and there's a point in the war that Kakashi kinda gets stuck in this trauma again when he has Obito at his mercy in the Kamui dimension. He sees Obito's body just flickering in and out when the 9
Wait, didn't I just say, or did I just think that Kakashi became Kage level once he was fighting Obito in that in his universe, in that one dimension?
Tails tosses Kakashi to Obito and he sucks Kakashi in, and instead of Chidoriing Obito and killing him there, which was very easy for him to do, he was just punching Obito because obviously he didn't want to kill him, he was holding back. So Kakashi's trauma is going to resurface in the war, but at that point he's already much more powerful anyways. Still, in the pain arc, Kakashi sees his dad, and his dad tells Kakashi everything, and Kakashi tells his dad everything. They exchange their stories in Limbo, and Kakashi forgives his dad, finally getting closure to the most traumatic event of his life. Probably, I don't know, I mean, it's very difficult to choose between Kakashi's traumas, but it is the first one, so the one that begins this traumatic spiral for him. And so he gets rid of this particular mental nerf. And it's that, combined with the new jutsus he's learned, Kamui, the Lightning Hound, the Lightning Shadow clone, alongside his amazing taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu, intelligence, and everything else, that allows Kakashi to reach Kage level at the moment he wakes up from Nagato's Rinne Tensei. And that makes a lot of sense because not long after that, Shikaku recommends Kakashi to become the 6th Hokage when Tsunade is in a coma, but Danzo essentially says, nah bro, I will be the 6th Hokage, the most based Hokage of all time. And after Danzo becomes too untrustworthy because he runs away from the 5 Kage summit after using Koto Matsukami on the mediator and everything, Gaara's like, oh, I trust Kakashi, he could serve as the 6th Hokage or whatever. And then when Danzo dies and Tsunade is still in a coma in the 5 Kage summit arc, they were going to pick Kakashi for the post of 6th Hokage, but Tsunade wakes up just before Kakashi is made Hokage. So at that point, they're talking about Kakashi becoming Hokage as something pretty natural. And Kakashi also finds it a pretty natural thing for him to become Hokage. He doesn't really lob for him to become Hokage or anything, but he doesn't say no. He understands, okay, yeah, I'm probably the best person for the job at the moment. And for Kakashi, being a very humble guy and understanding the strengths and weaknesses of Shinobi, understanding what the Hokage post means and how powerful you have to be just accepting that, sure, yeah, I'll be the 6th Hokage, speaks volumes about the level of strength he is at the moment. And obviously in the war arc, when Kakashi begins to spam Kamui and things like that, alongside other jutsus, he is even beyond that. A much more powerful ninja than he was in the Pain arc, and the 5 Kage summits, and
So to sum it up, it took him all of Naruto to become Kage level. Is that what I'm understanding?
obviously when he gets the dual Mangekyou Sharingan, he is one of the strongest ninjas of all time, so Kage level obviously. Actually, way beyond that, but anyways. Now, if you want to find out why Kakashi doesn't just one
Boom! Great video by Daigo
everyone
Knight. Appreciate it, my boy, for refreshing my memories when it came to Kakashi. If y'all are willing to check out me react to more anime videos or like variety, just click down below, subscribe. I'm getting better. I promise.